whoever just joined. We're just about to start with the presentation of the Masters in Yacht Design.
Okay, thank you, Federica, for the introduction. And as Federica said, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. I saw that there are some people connected, and probably somebody could join later. But the aim of this presentation is to make a first introduction, talking about the structure of the master, the content, how we deal the master, how we manage the different kind of activities that we plan, and even give you some feedback on the previous experience we had over the last year. So I will try to summarize these using the first 20 minutes or something more. And then we'd like to leave time for you for go deeper in details that could be of your interest, both from the side of the organization and both related to the content of the master. So we can spend the time as you prefer, in order that these could be a first opportunity to go in touch in understanding what a master could be, and even what the master in your design is. So I try to use some slides to introduce you some technical detail. The master is scheduled to start in February, and it lasts 1 year to complete all the activities, but the teaching activities is concentrated in the first semester. That means that we start in February, and taking advantage from the previous experience, the experience we did the last years related to the COVID situation, we will start even the next year in an online modality, the first month and a half, because we evaluate that this is very useful, not only for the master, but even for the people coming from abroad. Consider that 70–80% of the people attending the master is coming from abroad, and this could be easy to use the first time with an online activity. After this, we'll start with the activity in presence, and we're going to end the teaching activities at the end of the month of July. After this period, we schedule the internship activities that take around a period of 3–4 months, and could start just after the summertime or even later, but should be ended by the end of March, which is the limit to finish all the activities and take the final exam of the master. In this chart, you can see what's the composition, what has been the composition of the master, taking into account that we finished the 20 edition, and as you can see, when we start from the first edition of the master, the offer was related to the inner country, but after the first edition started the request coming from all over the world, and I can say now that we receive people and professionals from all over the world, as you can see in the country from where we receive people. I have even to say that it's quite interesting analyzing this data, because we notice that any year we receive people from the geographic area where the interest around yacht design, shipbuilding, construction, or supplier chain is increasing. And so this is something that has a relationship with the market dynamics, but is even, we believe, a great opportunity for the people attending the master, because being part of an international teaching path means not only studying your design, not only take knowledge and getting professionals in several possible professional activities related to yacht, but even share an experience with people coming from different cultural heritage, from different approach, from different vision to what a yacht could be, and even what could be in the future. So this is typical for, let's say, all the master managed by POLI.design, and moreover for the master in yacht design we deal about. Further information are related to the composition of the class. This is what happened over this year, and generally we not only obtain these as a result, but we drive the selection even to obtain these results, because this different composition of the class in terms of capability is requested not only by the market, but even to play a teaching activities involving you in practical and professional activities. You will be involved in designing a yacht, sailing yacht, and motor yacht, and you will do these in a team, in a small team, and that means that you will start working as the profession will ask you to do. For this reason, having in the same class architect, designer, engineer, or even other kind of professional is something that allow us to do these kind of activities, this kind of experience, design experience, in a way that is very close to what happened in the professional activity. This is the amount of the hour that we spent in teaching activities and for the internship. So you will be involved in different kind of teaching activities, because you will deal about theories and methods, because we start from the principle of yacht design. So which are the methods that are used to set the design of a yacht, which are the rules, the condition, but even what are the references that we can use to make a vision on what a yacht could be in a future perspective. And this is a part of, let's say, the visioning activity, which is related not only to yacht, but to design in general. And after that, we deal about the tools and the knowledge that is needed, and which is specific for yacht design. And that means that in some way we deal about drawing techniques specific through software for design the hull of a yacht, and we deal about the following steps, which is related to the construction. That means different kind of construction techniques, managing the phases of the techniques, and so on. And then we deal about all the knowledge which is required to manage the detail of the project, that in some cases could be even the most important thing if we take care about what is appreciated by the market. So when we talk about how to manage the interior design of a yacht, we are talking about something that has a great value on the market. Or again, what is related to systems and all the other fittings which are required to realize and then design a yacht. We try to do this through teaching activities. We try to do this through design experience. So in these images, you can see, for example, a typical workshop activities on design. We try to do this with practical experience. We have a very equipped laboratory to support the design, and so making models, making practical experience on construction techniques, and many others. What's the composition of the faculty is shown in this chart, because our faculty is composed by colleagues coming from Polytechnico or from other universities, but we have a very deep presence of professionals that help us in managing different teaching module in the master. And in this case, you can see how is divided the composition of the faculty between academics and professional, and for sure when we deal about theories and methods, we have a prevalence of colleagues who deal about this, and the more we move toward the tools and techniques and professionalizing skills, the professionals are more and more involved. As I told you before, we try to merge the theoretical activities with the practical activities. So we use the time over the semester in which we held the master, trying to combine the experience, the design experience that we are going to do within the workshop, the design workshops, getting you directly in touch with what design and produce a yacht means. And that means, let's say, make in practice some experience. In the left corner, upper corner, you can see an exercise of techniques, for sure, working on a small model or small dinghy of yacht, but having the opportunity to understand very deep what a construction techniques means. You can see picture during visiting yards or studios, and that means not only getting in touch with the player of the market, but even understand which are the phases, how is managed the process, and even getting in touch with different kind of yard. You can have different, complete different words, and that means that we believe that this is part of the formation. And again, having direct experience on a yacht means understanding not only what does it mean sailing with a sailing yacht, but even living on board, understanding the ergonomy of this living space, which is quite typical because is a moving space, is healing, and so on. So this is part of the basic knowledge which is required for a designer to be a yacht designer. And then use all these together with the tools and the knowledge transfer through the theoretical unit in order to be able to become a yacht designer. Some examples of the results of the design workshop. You will be involved in designing in two workshops, one focused on the design of a motor yacht and one on the sailing yacht. So two different worlds which share the same approach, but has very different need in terms of setting the design of the yacht. We generally give you some hull geometry as a reference. It's defined with a professor that will drive you within this workshop activity in define what will be the typology of the yacht, and even what's the style, what the content, and defining why you choose this. We generally try to give you the opportunity to make a different experience in terms of dimension of the yacht. Over the last year, for example, we focus on in designing a sailing yacht around 80 feet, even because before and after this limit, there's a changement of rules to respect in design and in production of yacht. And so we believe that is useful to you to understand which are the limits and with the possibility to work from the design point of view in this dimension of yacht. And generally, for what concerns the design of the motor yacht, we move close to a bigger dimension, which is close to the trend that we can read in the market nowadays, and what will be the request of professional. That means people working on this average of yacht. So you will be asked to start from the concept design of a yacht and reach the details as you can see in these drawings, and consider that reaching these results means to complete a loop, because on the contrary, from what you could be asked in designing in land, in a flat, when you design something on a yacht, is even related to a lot of parameters which are related to the stability, to this distribution of loads, and so on. So there's a complexity that you have to understand how to manage from the beginning, the first idea, till the final drawings that you will be asked to produce. What happened at the end of the teaching activities? You will be involved in an internship, and the internship is generally held in a studio, design studio, or in a yard, or in a company which works as a supplier of the yard. And these could be made in Italy or abroad. And as you can see in this chart, for sure, most of the internship are held in Italy because, as I imagine you know, Italy is a leader country in the production of yacht. If we focus on the segment of the big yacht, Italy has more than 35% of the whole world production, and that means that there are several opportunities in Italy. Great yard, great knowledge, great capabilities, and this is for sure an opportunity related to take a master in Italy. At the end, some data about the placement. Consider that around 90% of the people who attended the master is working in the yachts field, and as you can see from this chart, there's let's say a coherence between the composition of the class, which is mainly based on people coming from foreign, and even in the placement, because it happens that after the internship or after a preliminary experience made in Italy, generally people try to find their working position in their own countries, or even not, but in any case abroad. Last information is related to the awards. So we push generally our students to take part to the international competition. This is the list of the awards that our students won over the last years, and we are very proud of this for sure, but even very happy because we consider this very important to them, because it's an opportunity to compare at an international stage with other people, professional students involved in yacht design, and it is even a wonderful opportunity to get in touch with companies, yards, or newspapers, magazines, and so on, who generally promote these awards. So this is what we did over the last year, and for sure we will push more in this direction. I think that we stop here with the presentation, because I don't want to use too much time and give them the opportunity to go deeper in detail in what could be more interesting to them. I see Elisa, and I leave to you to give them some further details on enrollments and practical information.
Yes, hello everyone, and here, as Professor was mentioning, I will provide you some details about the selection and application process. Mainly, in order to take part in the selection, what you will need to do will be to go on the web page of the master on our website, www.POLI.design.net, and there you will find the link for the application, in which you will be required to fill a form and upload your application documents. Mainly, the documents that you will have to upload will be your CV, a motivation letter explaining why you would like to take the master, a portfolio, and of course this document is mandatory only for candidates having a background in design or architecture, because in some cases in the past we had also candidates having an engineering or management background, and in that case, of course, it is not a mandatory document. Here you may just upload again your CV or a simple PDF mentioning that you do not have a portfolio, only in case you don't have a background in design or architecture, as we mentioned. And then let's say, official evaluation by Politecnico di Milano will be also based on your study titles. So that's why we will need as well a scanning of your bachelor degree or graduation certificate, and a scanning of your university transcript. That is a list of all the courses and exams that you took during the university path. And then you will be required as well to upload a scanning of your ID card or passport or Italian fiscal code, in case you already have it. Mainly, as mentioned here, you may find that the master is open to candidates having at least a bachelor degree in different fields, as a matter of fact, in architecture, engineering, or design, but the board can also evaluate candidates having a different profile in terms of university, in case, for example, their professional experience is coherent with the master contents and with the master themes. What happens is that after you will have uploaded these documents, and here you may find the deadlines in which you need to apply, but my suggestion is, since the selection process is already open and it has been open for some time, to upload your documents as soon as possible, as we are already fixing the selection interviews. So next week there is going to be a next batch of selection interviews. So my suggestion is not to wait until the very last deadline to apply, because there is only a limited number of seats available, and it's 30. We have only 30 places for this master. So the suggestion is to apply as soon as you are sure that you are interested in the master and you have managed to collect the required documents. Mainly after the selection interview that takes place by Skype will be done. In a few time after the selection, you will receive an email mentioning if you are eligible for the master or not. And of course, in case you are eligible, you will be provided all the details, all the instructions in order to proceed with the enrollment. And in particular, you will be provided with a private agreement to be filled and signed, and you will be required to make a down payment covering a part of the tuition fees that you may find here. Mainly, the total cost of the master is 13,000 euro, of which 500 are the matriculation fee for Politecnico di Milano, and 12,500 is the attendance fee. So you will be required for a down payment covering 1/3 more or less of the master fees. So that's mainly more or less how the selection and how the application and selection process goes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elisa, and thank you so much, Professor Ratti. Now is really time to hear from you, and it's great to see that we already have some questions. Keep writing them into the Q&A box, and we're just about to start answering them live. So one of the first questions we receive is someone who's asking us if the classes are going to be in presence, and what sort of work experience do you need in order to apply to this master?
Okay, this was said at the beginning of the presentation, but we have both the modality. That means that we will start beginning of February with the online activities, and these will last around one month and a half. And then we switch to the activity in presence. This was related to the need over the last years to the COVID situation, but we decided to keep this because we noted that is useful and effective because we concentrate some theoretical activities in the beginning, and then we switch when we for sure need to have a direct interaction when we start designing with the workshop activities and meeting companies and so on. So this is the reason why we keep this, and we deal, let's say, about 20% online and 80% in presence. What sort of work experience? It's not required a work experience, even if for sure, if you could have a work experience in design, architecture, or even in the field of yacht, this could be useful for sure, but it's not required a specific experience, because the formation of coming from the master aim to give you the knowledge, the tools, and the capability to manage the steps of the design of a yacht.
Perfect. Asking us if there is a request of professional in the field of a yacht design, and basically it is easy to find a job after the master course in Italy or maybe abroad. So this person is actually is an Italian student, but asking if there is a demand for this particular professional in Italy or maybe abroad.
Well, I could say that like in any field, the situation is changing accordingly to the situation of the market. And I could say that even after the COVID situation, the yacht market start again since the last 3-4 years to grow. There's an increase in demand of yacht, just because it's seen as a private room, free, safety, and so on. Actually, the need and the critical aspect of the matter is producer. So all the yards are in a crisis of production, because the request, the demand is over their possibility to produce, and that means that even the need of people to employ in the yard and in the subcontractor is increasing. We saw that at these when we make the placement for the internship, and even the placement of the people after the internship, there's an increasing demand of people, and of people that could help the industry growing and in the direction they were. For what concern the abroad or Italy, yes, there's possibility to do both. As I told before, Italy is a very big player in the field of yacht production, but for sure in Europe and even all over the world there are several opportunities, and so the situation of the market is a global situation, so there's not big differences among the different countries. So the situation that we feel in Italy is the same that we can find in other countries, and so at this stage we could say that there are very good opportunities for new professionals offered by the yacht field.
Thanks. Talking about this, they're actually asking us if we have some sort of data in terms of percentage, maybe of course of the previous edition. If we have some sort of percentage, can an average student expect from this sort of course?
Yes, I told before, the medium average is 90%, is around 90% of the placement of the people in the field, in the yacht field. That means design studio, yard, company, subcontractor, and so on. And this is related even to the professional skills. So for sure, when we do this kind of formation, we are not changing the professionality of the people getting in, but we transfer tools and knowledge related to yacht design and yacht production to somebody that could be already, let's say, a designer, an architect, and an engineer. And this is reflected on the professional activities they are going to apply after the master.
So we did actually talk about in the presentation, but someone is asking us if this master offers some practical workshop or if is it mainly a theoretical program.
No, the aim is to deal about all the steps which are required from the concept idea of a yacht, and so from this having the capability to define the details and the detailed drawings of a yacht, but doing this through practical activities related to the practice of yacht design. So two design workshops, one related to sailing yacht and one related to motor yacht. Practical activities means make practical experience of construction. Practical experience means visiting yard, visiting studio, visiting museum that could be related to historical heritage of what the yacht has been in the history, and moreover. So our aim is exactly to use practical activities to increase the effectiveness of the teaching activity itself.
Perfect. Thank you. We still have a couple of minutes, and we received in the chat some questions which maybe Elisa could help us answer. So there was a question regarding, so after the interview, how long does the admission process take? So after the interview, when they can expect to hear back? And finally, if after the course, you have some sort of experience of some alumni that maybe managed to stay in Italy and find a job after the program.
Is to me yes, the question?
I think it's to both of you. So whoever can help us answering, please go ahead. Thanks.
Okay. Maybe I can start, Professor Ratti, and then if you wish to add something more from the technical point of view, what I can say is that mainly after the interview, you will receive by email a feedback in maximum around 1 week, 10 days. Of course, in case some extra documents or maybe a second interview is required, it might take a little bit longer to complete the process, but that's more or less the general point. As far as I see from the point of view of the extended visa mentioned by Can Swalin, mainly for the master itself, you will have to apply for a study visa for the period of the master. And then what happens is that when you will be in Italy, you will be required to apply for a permit of stay, allowing you to stay for the period of the master, and you will be able to renew it starting from 60 days before the expiry date. In that case, in case you will have already completed the master and finished the master with the final exam, you will be able to apply directly for the job search permit of stay, as the master is an official master recognized by the Italian Ministry of Education. So that's why it allows you to apply directly for the renewal of the permit of stay for job search reason, and it allows you to stay 1 extra year in Italy regularly without going back to the country from which you come from to apply for another visa and get back. That's the technical part. Maybe if Professor wishes to go on with this, but mainly I think he already mentioned also that in many cases after the internship, many shipyards or studios in the past offer the possibility to our students to go on with an extracurricular internship or some sort of job offer, and that the placement rate is very high from that point of view. So I think he can also mention that for sure the possibility will be in your hands, because of course during the internship itself you have the chance to prove your value and to be convincing, let's say, the company of your value. So as from that point of view, you it's also in your hands, this
yes,
possibility.
Elisa, probably could be useful to add something about the process of the interview that we generally manage to admit people, because as Elisa already told you, we plan an interview. We ask you to let us have your CV, portfolio, if you have, and we can go deeper in details with you, understanding not only what's your profile, but even your vision and your expectation from the master. We deal about this all over the year, because we never stop this activity, and we already did some. We have partially people enrolled to the next year, and we will end this at the beginning of the year, before the start of the master. So I think that Elisa already gave you the information where to send your request if you are interested in doing this.
Perfect. So I really like to thank the Professor Ratti for his time, and Elisa for the availability and answering all the questions. And we do have some other masters that will be promoted today. So we will be talking about other academic offering, and I'd like to remind you all the agenda of today. So by clicking on the link, you'll be able to see the full agenda, and also in the next few days, you'll be able to see the recording of the presentation in case you missed some parts of it. So really like to thank the Professor and Elisa and all of you for staying connected and for your valuable questions. And we look forward to seeing you soon, hopefully at POLI.design at the program. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.